Yeah, so we are going to discuss about testing and types of testing. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, but the font size is so small.
Oh,
Can you?
okay.
Okay, done.
So we'll discuss about testing and types of testing. Yeah, so testing is divided into three parts. Mm, One second, I'm just looking for the, yeah. So what I was telling is testing is or are of three types. There are three types of testing. So these are, number one is WBT, white box testing. White box testing. Then it is BBT, black box testing. And then it is GBT, gray box testing. So white box testing is done by the developer. The developer will do the white box testing and he will check the each and every line of the code. In black box testing, it is done by the test engineer. So since it is a black box testing is done by the test engineer, it is the actual testing. And if you know gray box testing, so you know if we combine white and black color, it becomes gray. That means gray box testing is a combination of white box testing and black box testing. That means gray box testing, it is a testing done by test engineer who has knowledge of both testing and coding. They are highly paid gray box tester. So gray box testing is the testing done by test engineer who has knowledge of both testing and coding. So white box testing is done by whom? Developers, where developers, white box testing is done by developers, where developers will check each and every line of the code. Who will check each and every line of the code? Developer. So we are not developer, we are test engineers. So we will do something called as what? Black box testing. So this is done by the test engineer. So I have given the definition of black box testing. It is a testing done by test engineer where it is a testing done by test engineer where he checks the functionality of the application is working according to the requirement. And testing continues until when?
Until it's stable or bug free.
The testing continues until the application becomes stable or bug free. So white box testing, black box testing, and then I told you gray box testing is a testing done by the test engineer who has knowledge of both
coding.
testing and coding.
Testing and coding.
So now first what will happen is we will get something called as requirement. First we will get is requirement. Now the developers will do the coding. Developers will do the coding.
Coding.
Yeah. Mm. First we got the requirement, then the developer is doing the coding. Then developer is doing the coding, and there is something called as white box testing. This is also done by developer. Then what happens? Then finally it goes to the next thing, that is what is black box testing. And black box testing is divided into three types: functional testing, and then there's something called as integration testing, functional testing, and then there's something called as integration testing. Then there's something called as system testing. And then it will be released and given for user acceptance testing, UAT. And after user acceptance testing, it will be given to the production environment. So now let us see this part, functional integration system, is a part of black box testing. And this is done by the test engineers. This UAT is done by whom? By the customers.
Customers.
By the customers.
Customers.
Yes. And after the user acceptance testing, it will be sent to what? Sent to the production. Production is the real-time environment used by whom? By the end users. Used by whom? End users.
End users.
So this is the story. First the requirement has come, then developer is doing the coding. Who is doing the coding?
Developer.
Yeah, so developer will be doing the coding. Developer, this is done by the developer. Developer would be doing the coding, and developer would be doing the white box testing.
White box testing.
And this functional, and then it will be delivered to the test engineer. These three testing will be done by whom? By the
Test engineers.
test engineers. So they will do the testing, and then finally it will be sent back to the customers for doing user acceptance testing, and finally it will be sent to the production environment, where the end user can use the application. So if I have to define white box testing, I defined as what? White box testing is a testing done by the developer where he checks each and every line of the code. And black box testing, it is a testing done by the test engineer where he checks the functionality of application is working according to the requirement. And then why it is called as white box testing? Because here developer he can, why it is called as WBT? Because developer can see the code and test. So it is called as white box testing. Why it is called as black box testing? Because here the test engineer cannot see the code, rather he tests the application according to the requirement. So it is called as what? Black box testing.
Black box testing.
And gray box testing, because it's a mixture of white box and black box testing. So it is called as gray box testing. It is a
combination of
mixture of BBT and WBT. So it is called as GBT, gray box testing. Now, black box testing is done by the test engineer. So here there are different kind of testings which we are going to learn. And in white box testing, the one thing you have to remember is white box testing has many names. It's not only white box testing. Some people call it as glass box testing. Some
Very
people,
transparent.
yeah, because of the transparency, its name is glass box testing. Some people call it as unit testing. Okay, so it's name different name is given. The thing is same, is white box testing or a gray box, a glass box testing or unit testing. So these are what white box testing, different name. So we are not going to learn white box testing, whether we will focus on the black box testing. So now this black box testing is further divided into, black box testing is divided into various types. Functional testing, integration testing, system testing. These are what types of black box
Black
testing:
box.
functional testing, integration testing, and system testing. First we will learn is functional testing. So functional testing, what happens is, it is a testing done by test engineer where he checks each and every component of the application, where he checks each and every component of the application. Functional testing definition is like this only, that he will check each and every component of the application. So let me just take an example to explain this functional testing. What is happening in each and every line of the each and every component of the application. There is something called as let me just take, this is the amount transfer page. So let me just take, suppose this is fan and this is tan, and this is amount, and this is the this is fan. Fan means from account number. So let me just type from account number. This is tan, to account number, to whom we are going to transfer the amount. And then this is amount, and there are two more buttons. There is something called as transfer button, and there is something called as cancel button. So let us take example, transfer button, and there is something called as cancel button. Now what happens here is, this is an amount transfer page, amount transfer page. Now from account number means from the account from where I am going to transfer the amount, to account number means to the account where I'm going to transfer the amount. Amount is the particular amount we are going to send, and transfer and cancel button. Now, to test any application, what is the thing required? We are testing the application according to what?
Requirement.
According to the requirement. Okay.
Requirements.
Yes. We'll test the application according to the requirement.
Requirement.
Yeah. Let me just save this document which I am going to send. So I am going to now I will just prepare one document, Word, this one, so that different notepad I don't have to give. Fan, this is testing and types. Yeah. So, yeah. So now the requirement is fan should accept valid 10 digit. Similarly, the requirement is for tan is tan should accept valid 10 digit. Amount minimum is 5,000 and maximum is 50,000. Transfer button enabled and cancel button enabled. Now functional testing tells is a testing done by test engineer where he checks each and every component of the application or every modules independently. Functional testing is a testing done by test engineer where he checks each and every component of the application or every modules independently. Independently means first he is going to test this fan thing, then he is going to test this tan thing, then he is going to test this amount, then he is going to test the transfer button, then he is going to test the cancel button. Now first I have to test the, now let me just start the testing. Now we are going to test fan field. To test fan field, there is something called as rules of testing. We have to, for testing fan field, we have to know rules of testing. The rule is number 1, test for positive values. Next rule is test for negative values. No exhaustive testing. No exhaustive testing. No under testing. And last rule is no assumption. That means always whenever we will do the testing, first is that we have to test for positive values, then we have to test for negative values, and then there should not be any exhaustive testing. Exhaustive testing means what? Same values repeating again and again. Suppose I am giving a 10 digit number 111111, okay, 3 plus 6 plus 2 8 9 10. Okay, now similar kind of values I cannot give. Now I have given 11111, so again I should not give 222222. Again I should not give 2222. Again I should not give 333333. So this is what is called as exhaustive testing. Okay, so now if I take 4444, so this kind of testing should not be done. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Give me one. Yeah. So I'm telling there should not be an exhaustive testing. Similar kind of value should not be given. There's no under testing that if there are any similar modules, so we should not leave that module. We should not leave that module. And the thing is that last rule is there should not be any assumption. We should not assume anything that this functionality will work like this. Always we need to clarify in testing. So this is also a rule. Always we need to clarify in testing. So these are the rules we should keep in mind. Test for positive values, then only test for negative values. And there should not be any exhaustive testing, then no under testing, no assumption. Now let me just test this fan field. Fan field should accept valid 10 digit. So this is the requirement. So if I want to test this fan field, okay, So first, what value I will give? First, can anyone tell me values for fan field?
You first test for positive numbers.
Yes. Correct. So first values for fan field. First we'll give a positive value. Suppose we given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. This is the positive value we have given. Then we will give what? Negative value.
Negative.
Suppose less than 10. Then we will give what? More negative value. Suppose more than 10. So this is again a negative value. Then we will give what? Suppose we are giving a decimal value, then what will happen? This is again a negative value. So this is the positive value, and these are what?
Negative
Negative
values.
values. So this is what is the tester has to think the different kind of values. So there can be other values also, like what? Alpha numeric values. Like what? Like if I give A1, 2, 3, this is again a,
1, 2, 3.
yeah. So now spatial characters. If someone gives a spatial character, so then it is again a negative value. Suppose someone given hash. Now these are what are the negative values for what? For fan field. Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now, so these are negative values, and negative values are here, and these are positive values. So this is a positive values, and all these are what? Negative values.
Negative values.
Yes. So this is how we will test which field. We are going to test what? Fan field. We have given a valid 10 digit, then we have given negative values less than, greater than, decimal value, alphanumeric, spatial character. This is how we are going to test this fan field. Now we are going to test what? Tan field. So now we will test what? Testing of which field?
Tan
Tan
field.
field.
Tan field. So now the testing of tan field will be what? Again, what we will do is we'll give the values. First we'll give what? Some positive value, and then
some negatives.
Then we'll give the negative value. So now let me just fill. This is suppose a positive valid tan field. Then my after 10 minutes my Zoom link will over, and then again you all need to join it. So
Okay, sir.
so for this values of tan field, first we have given a positive value, then we'll give the negative value. Suppose less than 10 digit and greater than 10 digit, decimal, alphanumeric, spatial character. So these are the values for tan field. Now we are going to do the testing for amount field. Testing for amount field. So how we will test the amount field? What is the requirement for this amount field? Minimum is 5,000 and maximum is what? 50,000.
50,000.
So first we have to give one positive value. So what can be a positive value?
Let's say 6,000.
Correct. 6,000 can be a positive value. Okay. Now if I put the negative values, so negative values can be negative.
55,000.
Yeah. So suppose a negative value, the minimum less than 5,000. So this is again a
Than
negative.
5,000.
Greater than 50,000. Okay. Wait. Less than 5,000. Greater than
Than 5,000. 50,000.
This is again a negative value. Then if we give a decimal value, suppose the requirement says there should not be any requirement is clear, requirement is given, there should not be decimal value. So this will go under requirement review. There is something called as a requirement review. The requirement what we have got, so we review that requirement. In that we need to get the review. Review means approval from the project manager. So if the project manager approved that decimal value should not be there, so that will be considered as a negative value. And if he confirms no negative values are accepted, then again then it can be, suppose 6,050 if I take, it will be considered as a positive value. But here it is less than 5,000 plus it is decimal value, and the project manager has confirmed that there should not be any decimal values. So this will be considered as negative value. So there can be other values. Suppose someone is writing uh, characters 6,000. This is again a negative value. Someone is writing a special character. Someone is writing uh,
Numeric.
yeah, alphanumeric values. Suppose someone is writing ASD 123. Someone is writing what? This is a very important value: amount more than the balance. That means what? He is having 6,000 rupees and he is sending 10,000 rupees. Or then that will be considered as what? A negative value. Or someone is having
Okay.
$6,000 and is sending $10,000, so that will be considered as a negative value. Amount more than the balance. So this is again a negative value. So for amount, and then we will test what? Testing for transfer and cancel button. So testing for transfer and cancel button, we will check what? Transfer button should get enabled, and next is what? Cancel button should refresh all the fields. So this is the testing of transfer button and cancel button. So are you understanding what I am doing? Am I not checking each and every component of this particular application, what we have discussed, amount transfer? Have we checked each and every component? First we tested this from account number, then we tested this to account number, then we tested this amount, then we tested this transfer button, then we tested this cancel button. Have we not tested each and every component of the application independently? Tell me yes, no.
Yes, yes.
So functional testing is what? Testing each and every component.
Every component,
The component.
Every component of the application.
application.
Yes, so we are testing each and every component of the application. So first we have given positive values, then we have given negative values, positive value, negative values, positive, negative. Transfer button will get enabled when we give a fan value, tan value, amount value, and we click on transfer. So this button should get enabled as soon as we give the values in fan, tan, amount. And if we click on transfer button, what should happen is, first functionality for transfer button will be transfer button should get enabled. And next is click on transfer button. If we click on transfer button, what will happen?
The amount should get
You get
transferred.
enabled.
Yeah, first there will be a
Should get-
message, confirmation message, confirmation message, amount transferred successfully. This will be a message given, amount transferred successfully. So this is what is the testing of transfer button. In cancel button, what will happen? All the fields should get refreshed.
Get refreshed.
Yeah, so this is called as what? Testing, or this is called as what? Functional testing.
Testing.
Yes. Now let me just open a new page. Okay, let me just save this and let me just open a new page. And we will learn here something called as integration testing. Testing the data flow or interface between the modules. Let me just increase the font. Is it visible? Integration testing.
Yeah.
Yes, so integration testing is defined as testing the data flow or interface between the modules. Suppose in Gmail, someone has composed a mail and sent that mail from user A to user B. User A to user B, someone has sent a mail. Okay. So now, what are the things he will do? He will first log in his application. He'll compose a mail. Then he will click on send more button, and then that item will be, that particular message will be delivered to user B. User B will again log in into the application and then click on inbox. Then he will be able to see that mail which was sent. So it is a testing between two modules, that sent item, that sent module, and the inbox of the user B. So this is what called integration testing, testing the data flow or interface between the module. He has to test that if he is sending a hi message, then the hi message is received by the user B or not. Are you able to understand what is integration testing? What happens in integration testing? User A send a mail hi to user B. Now the thing what will happen in integration testing is, the functional testing is over, then we will do the integration testing. In integration testing, we will test the data flow or interface between the module. Data flow means what? If user A is sending a hi message to user B, the user B is receiving that hi message or not. If user A is sending some amount to user B, so what will happen is we will get the amount for user A. User A amount will be what? Amount equals to amount minus what? Amount transfer. Amount equals to amount.
Can you just tell me what is user A and user B again, sir?
User A is, suppose I am user A, you are user B. Okay.
Okay.
So I am sending a mail to you. So if you receive that mail, you will have to check in what? In the inbox.
Okay.
So I am sending a mail through what? Through the sent button in the Gmail.
Okay.
You received the mail in the inbox. So this is two
Okay.
modules. Sent item, sent module of user A, me, Vikram, and you. And you is the user B, whose inbox that mail has come. So you are checking
Okay.
that mail is transferred or not, that data flow has happened or not. Suppose I am user A. So I am transferring, suppose $5,000 to you. So my amount was $10,000. Okay. So now what will
Okay.
happen? Suppose I have $10,000. So what will happen? 10,000, and I transferred you how much? $5,000.